Hi, 7th grade science families. This is Mrs. Sendlakowski. I'm going to be your science teacher for this year. A little bit about me. I grew up in the Northwest. I have a very small little family with one daughter. She's 18 and she's a senior at Garfield. Together we have been doing a lot of tap dancing. I'm new to it and she's very good. But we take a class called cardio tap together and I really love it. This 24 is not that I'm 24, it's that I've been teaching for 24 years. Yes, 24, but I've been on Mercer Island for about 21 of those years. For 7th grade, our topics are basically chemistry and biology. We start with the chemistry and that's going to take us through December, and then we move into the biology and that will take us through the end of the year. Our class is really focused on inspiring curiosity, asking questions. From there, then developing strong problem-solving skills in which I'm asking them to take academic risks. In other words, sometimes we as scientists have, make inferences or like draw a conclusion that may or may not be accurate, but discussing those as a positive learning community is going to be part of what we do. And then learning to make mistakes together is important. We are focused on what's called the Next Gen Science Standards as a science team at Mercer Island. And this year we're going to use home-based labs to try to investigate a lot of the concepts related to both chemistry and biology. So you can see that we've already done actually a few of those types of activities at home, and hopefully it's starting to make sense how we're going to make this a little bit more lab-based. The labs that they do at home, or the activities they do at home, are really essential because it helps to add to our learning in the classroom. So keeping track of keeping on time with assignments becomes really essential in their ability to engage in Zoom sessions. Materials for science are basically, they're going to have a notebook specifically for my class, and we record notes in it. We've already started writing in it. Charged iPad, something to write with, and then on the weekly materials list, there's going to be a list of actual materials to run those labs. If it's an unusual material, I will message out earlier over the weekend so you can have some time to prepare for it. But what I want you to know is that many of the items can be really creatively replaced if needed. For example, this weekend, I sent out a message that said we needed a dropper, like a pipette is what we'd call it in science. But you can easily use something else. Anything that moves water drop by drop or in a really small amount is fine. So I made some suggestions. You could use like a repurposed medicine dropper. You could use like an empty food coloring container that you washed out and then use as a dropper. Or you could use a straw even to move small amounts of water. The last material is a textbook, so there's no physical textbook for Matter. That will come on to Schoology as a folder called Matter Textbook. And then in January, when we reach biology, we'll talk about how we're going to either collect the book or we'll do it as a digital piece. What to expect each week is an important slide. This actually exists in the syllabus that I sent out to you earlier. And I would recommend looking through that syllabus if you haven't done so already, but generally the weekly plan is that I will publish the week at a glance on Monday, and I should change that to week at a glance on Monday. And the kids will attend Zoom sessions Monday, and then I'll also see them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I have virtual office hours, Zoom office hours from 12:40 to 1:15, and I find those to be really helpful in being able to explain things to kids that are having problems, so please send them my way. And I have messaging office hours from 2:30 to 3, where I will basically be like texting them back and forth or IMing them back and forth using Schoology messaging. One important piece is Friday. So our goal is to have all of our tasks done by Friday, all wrapped up by hopefully Friday at 2 p.m. and that allows us all to walk away for the weekend and get a little time away from the screen and time with family. This week at a glance is something I talked about. This is what I would put out on Monday. The kids will have access to it on Schoology, and I'll show you where that is. But for all of us, it's actually wouldn't be a bad thing to print off at home, just so that you know. Zoom links are up here at the top. This is learning standards, learning targets, and then this gray and white table is really helpful. The gray pieces are actually what we're going to do in Zoom sessions. And sometimes you'll see that over here, so this is what, like the feedback opportunity, where to submit and how it will be graded. Sometimes you'll see that in Zoom sessions, I'll have them submit a couple of things. The white pieces are actually things that they're going to do at home. So those are the tasks to pay attention to. Notice that the task 1, 2, 3, they're in order. I recommend going in that order. And honestly, I would recommend doing it exactly how I have it. In other words, they come to the Monday Zoom session, or the first Zoom session, this was this week, Tuesday, and then they work on the task 1 assignment, and then they roll into this Zoom session 2, and then do task 2 and 3. They're welcome to open and start assignments early if they feel like they need to, but again, I recommend going in order. These blue underlines are really essential. They're a hyperlink, which will open a document that will have all the necessary directions, hopefully, on that document so they know what to do. Okay, another organizational piece. Any completed assignments will probably be submitted to Schoology, but they should also save them themselves in a Google Drive folder if they're using Docs. If they're printing it out, totally fine. I would recommend keeping it in a binder of some sort. Another organizational piece is that everyone will need a notebook. So hopefully they already have that, because we've already begun to write notes from class, and they will need those notes for reference, for study, for quizzes, and for tests. So it's going to be essential. This is the Schoology organization. And the Schoology organization, basically I'm showing you where the week at a glance is. So the current week at a glance will be the second link from the top in the materials tab, which is from now on the tab that they're going to land on when they go to my course. Yeah. So they also need to pay attention to, in addition to that materials tab, this updates tab is really essential. This is where I'm going to put important information. And in fact, so this was the slide set from Thursday, and that gives kids a chance to look it over again if they need to, or if they were absent, they can follow up using that and then talk to me about anything else. Communication platform, Schoology, I already talked about. Skyward is the second one. I will update grades weekly, and there will be in 4 categories: formative, summative, engagement, and then homework or classwork. So thus far, we've only had homework and classwork, and that's for points. Actually, I'm wrong. We also had a formative piece, and that was a quiz for them to see how well they would do with variables. One of the things that I'm doing this year, or that we're all doing this year, is something to pay attention to as well. So there will also be a grade in engagement. So engagement is basically behavior. This is something we've discussed in Zoom sessions already, and together we've kind of discovered or decided what's essential. So I took that and I put it onto this engagement rubric, and this is how I will score them every week. So 3, 2, 1, 3 being the highest. So the next piece, the grading policy, is basically points, total points calculated using a percentage. What I want you to know is the grade on Skyward is the accurate grade, not the one on Schoology. Assignments, basically, again, grades are entered weekly, and anything in the category of classwork or homework can be redone if they are not satisfied with their grade. A high quality redo can be submitted within 1 week is what I'm hoping that we adhere to, just so that I don't start losing my mind with too much late work handed in. So assignments that are not turned in will be scored as, marked as missing, and then also receive a 0 until it's handed in. My closing thoughts are this: check the week at a glance with your child. Every week, I know that's a daunting task since there will be 6, but at least have a discussion about what is going on and what awesome learning they're doing in science. Encourage your child to come to office hours or to communicate with me via Schoology messaging, and then also encourage them to use their planner to organize their time. We'll do that together. We'll start that together on Monday of this week, as I referenced in my email to you this weekend. Thank you so much. It was hopefully informative and maybe not so quick, but have a great day.